Hello everybody, this is Con. Today's review features the Kia Rio. This car priced at 80,000 ringgit, available only in one spec, 1.4 litre MPI 4-speed automatic. So this is an all-new version of the Rio, new platform, new styling, all new interior, new everything. So for 80,000 ringgit, it is right smack in the middle of B segment territory, and even though the engine and transmission combination does not sound competitive, okay, only about 100 horsepower and 133 newton meters of torque, okay, behind the most of the competition which are using 1.5 liter engines. So this right off the bat, where power is concerned, the Rio is already at a disadvantage, but it makes up for that shortfall with a very long list of equipment that includes sunroof, keyless entry, reverse camera, touchscreen, rear disc brakes, 17-inch alloy wheels. I'm not sure if 17-inch alloy wheels are quite necessary for a car at this kind of power level, but as you would see from the exterior walk around that I will take you through later, it does make the car look pretty good. So without further ado, let's adjourn outside for the walkabout. Okay, so from the outside, the Rio is a very handsome car. I think there's no argument about that. If you were to stick a Volkswagen badge or an Audi badge on this overall shape, confirm can jalan one. Okay, so so you see, this is the new trademark Kia grille, this very wide grille that that narrows in the middle. Okay, and also you notice that roughly from this angle reminds me of the Scirocco, and that's not a bad thing. The Scirocco is an old car, but today it's still a very handsome looking car. And yeah, so the Rio, certainly I would say this is the best looking car in the segment, maybe next to the Mazda 2. Okay, so let's come closer to the headlight assembly. So these are the headlights, halogen projectors. So, well, of course not at night when you switch it on, the lights are yellow. Not as impressive as xenons or LEDs, but at least the appearance, the overall presentation at daytime when the lights are not illuminated is pretty good lah. Okay, so it still looks properly nice, properly expensive, and this U-shaped is what you call it, this U-shaped element. These are LED daytime running lights. So it's it's very it looks upmarket. This car looks upmarket from the front. Nice, simple, elegant. I like this styling. Now, come this side. This is one thing I want to show you. Okay, you get side mirror mounted blinkers, and not only do you get keyless entry, you get the keyless entry button here at the passenger side door. Many cars in this price range already come with keyless entry, but not many offer you a button at the passenger side. So this is very convenient. Okay, it's very convenient when you are, when especially for you gentlemen who want to open the door for the ladies. This is very convenient. And come down here, you notice at the back, 17-inch alloy wheels. I think this is a bit oversized for this car, for the kind of power that this car is making, 100 horsepower. I think 15s is a far more sensible size. Maybe 16s if you want to look nice, but 17 a bit overkill. But I like the fact that you get 4 disc brakes for this car. Not something that it's not a what you call it. It's not a common feature in this price range. So this is also very handsome, very nice. It looks a lot more upmarket. The styling is much better resolved, looks more matured. I'll switch on the lights later to show you just how it looks like with the lights switched on. So this is like a sort of like a 3-bar illumination, and you get this diffuser element at the lower bumper. You also get a reverse camera neatly integrated into the boot handle. Yeah, so at the back, from the back, okay, from the back it has a very Volkswagen group kind of look. Almost reminds you of the Golf actually. So check out the lights. So you see Halogen headlights. This is the LED lighting. Now this is the LED daytime running lights. Now of course the lighting is dimmed. Yeah, the tail lights, notice the 3-bar illumination. Looks very nice, very sophisticated. So another thing I like about the Rio's design, the taillight design, is that the rear fog lamp is nicely integrated within this lighting element as well. Now of course, due to the refresh rate of the LEDs, you see that it's flickering here, but you see the tail lights is, sorry, the fog light is nicely integrated with this design element as well. You will see these 3 strips running, you know, in this kind of shape. So it looks very nice. It's nicely integrated. Okay, we shall look at the boot. Okay, so this is, well, this is an average typical hatchback size boot. The floor is deep, so when you're loading things, you actually have to lift things up and over and drop it down as well. Maybe some may appreciate, you know, a loading floor that is more flush with you know, with the lip, but then this comes at the expense of your loading capacity. So evidently Kia decided that they want to maximize the loading capacity by setting the boot floor as low as possible. Now, and you also notice that the spare tire well, they've chosen to put a space saver, even though the spare tire well itself is clearly big enough to accommodate a full-size spare. Okay, but I personally prefer a full-size spare, but space saver tires like this, they also help save weight for your car, so it's, you know, a bit more convenient when you change tires. A little interesting feature you have here, this is this little side pocket here to put small items. How deep is it? Well, somebody left a phone cover here, and yeah, so you can drop. So it's about this deep lah. Okay, it's about this deep, 2 inches deep. 60/40 split folding, and of course to fold it from the back, what you do is you just reach out here, push the seats forward. You notice that it's not a flat floor. It's not a flat floor. So I personally always appreciate a seamless loading floor when you have a split folding rear seats. Maybe it would have been great to have a notch at this level which you can raise the boot floor. That would give you a flat loading floor, and that would allow you to transport bulky items, you know, in a more stable fashion. But yeah, overall, this is it lah. There are a couple of hooks here which you can hang your things, and here as well. Tonneau cover is removable. Yep, and yeah, so you have grab handles on either side for you to pull down and close the boot. Get inside the rear. Okay, let's see the door card. You've got speakers here, you've got a simple bottle holder here, nothing much. Good news is you've got 3 adjustable individual headrests for the rear passengers. You've got isofix mounts, and the isofix mounts are located quite far out, so it's very easy to see. You can just see your isofix mount anchor in. Very nice. Seat belt for the middle passenger is mounted here. It comes out from the seat back. So what happens is when you fold, if you decide to fold the seats forward, okay, the seat belt goes with it, so you don't have an interference. So it does not interfere with if you want to load bulky items. Okay, yeah. And let's look at overall room. Well, it's not as spacious at the back here as a Honda Jazz lah, let's put it that way, but you still got decent leg room. Headroom is okay, but what I can feel here is that the support of my back, it actually feels very supportive. These seats feel supportive. I can imagine feeling seated quite comfortably here at the back. And you know, for those of you with devices to charge, you've got you've got a USB port right here. So this is a nice touch. So it's okay. It's okay. It's fabric seats. I like fabric seats. I prefer fabric over leather. Yeah, seats. It's more comfortable to sit in on, especially on a hot day. Yeah. Okay, going to the front. Okay, coming inside the cabin. Okay, let's give you a first glance of the dashboard. Okay, dashboard. Now let's look at the door card. Door card, very plain sea of black plastics. You've got this semi-partition what you call it, cup holder, bottle holder, and you know, a door pocket that stretches until here. It doesn't go beyond here. Okay, coming to this to the overall dashboard cabin. This is a very nice, very beautifully designed dashboard. This steering wheel reminds us of a BMW M Sport steering wheel design, the latest generation BMW M Sport steering wheel. So you look at the side here, you've got stability control, you got tire pressure monitoring, you got headlamp adjustment, instrument panel brightness adjustment. So very comprehensive. You've also got, well, engine start stop button. Okay, you've got this infotainment section here. Well, this is a touchscreen. It is very small. It is almost comically small, I would say. But it's a touchscreen. The resolution is pretty good. Okay, I shall demonstrate. So you can touch and all that. So the response also is pretty good actually. But I think the screen is just small. It's just hilariously small. Screen is small, but buttons are big. So personally, I think that this screen can be made a bit bigger. Buttons slightly smaller, but yeah, so this is a sort of like try to mimic those freestanding design, but not really freestanding lah. It's a respectable appearance, and you look down here, the center stack is got single zone auto climate control, and the quality of this switchgear all very good, good to the touch. And this here very useful. You've got a USB port here, you got a 12-volt socket, you got an aux jack, you've got this nice nicely shaped what you call it, storage bin, and this is also a storage bin, so you can actually put your phone, dock your phone here as well. Okay, so this is a useful well, storage tray, and it is rubberized so things don't slip and slide around lah. Okay, got this you've got this is the glove box, and this is something little interesting. So this Rio, okay, is codenamed the YB generation Rio. Yeah, YB, Young Berhormat Rio. Right, and you look at the dashboard, this is a nice metallic kind of material, so obviously it's not like the super high grade, but it looks pleasant enough. Okay, and it really gives a bit more of an upmarket air to the cabin. I quite like this. I quite like this overall design. It's very nice, very tastefully done, yet at the same time, you look at the overall center tunnel, very practical. Okay, this area nicely utilized. This area a bit less so, but still you can put a decent amount of things here. 2 cup holders, and this box here is, well, it's decent for a car this size. Most cars at this price segment don't even give you this storage box here as well. Yeah, and of course, highlight, you got sunroof, and so instrument cluster is, well, this is a very simple instrument cluster, but the clarity is good. You also get to cycle between various displays. This is it's a monochrome display, but it tells you it provides you sufficient information. Yeah, yeah. So overall, I would say this is a nice cabin to be in. A little too much black plastics, if you ask me. A lot of hard grade black plastics, but it looks durable, it looks solid, it feels solid. I mean, you imagine in 5 years, 10 years, this cabin is still likely to hold together in decent shape without rattling, without things falling apart. Yeah, you don't get the impression that things will fall apart in this cabin. Everything here, it feels very nicely screwed together. Fabric seats, I like fabric seats. Yeah, and yeah, so overall for the price, right, this cabin really can't complain. Oh, and one more, allow me to demonstrate the reverse camera. So yeah, because of the small screen, the image can only be is also smaller. But if you observe, the resolution is pretty good. It is a pretty clear reverse camera, so that is very good. And also I like that the transmission lever, it has a very solid, very satisfying and solid feel when you move between the various positions. Yeah, so this T-bar lever is a bit old-fashioned, but I really like the way it feels. Yeah. So really, right, overall, this cabin, right, 80K, really cannot complain. Cannot complain. So like its predecessor, right, the Rio still uses a 1.4 liter petrol MPI engine, but it is actually an all-new engine. It is the previous engine, previous 1.4 liter engine was from the Gamma engine family. This new one is from the Kappa engine family. Totally unrelated, but connected to the same 4-speed automatic transmission. Outputs thereabouts of the same, 100 horsepower, 133 Newton meters of torque. Okay, now the question is, that's something that I really don't understand. Why did Kia took the effort to put in an all-new 1.4 liter engine, okay, fitted with an old gearbox, and in what has happened is that it has kept the Rio mechanically disadvantaged against the competition. I mean, everybody else in the market is on 1.5 liter engines minimum. Okay, most of them use CVTs these days lah. 4-speed auto perhaps is fine, but you see, the thing about using a 4-speed automatic gearbox is that it's okay, but your selection of ratios need to be spot on, your transmission programming needs to be spot on, and your engine also needs to be decently torquey, which this 1.4 liter unit isn't. So the thing is that what really puzzles me is, why did Kia, okay, because in overseas market, Kia also offers the Rio with a 1.6 liter engine, or a 1.1 liter 3-cylinder turbo engine. Okay, there's also a diesel engine, which I don't think will be suitable for market. But in my opinion, either the 1.6 or the 1 liter turbo would have been a far better powertrain selection than the 1.4 here. Okay, you see, the thing is this, the 1.4 is for city driving. Now let's say I'm driving around housing area, driving around town is okay. It's cukup makan lah. It gets you moving. But it is when you hit the highways, that is when you realize that this engine really needs to be worked very hard to keep up with traffic. Okay, and it is not exactly a sweet revving engine either. So it is one of those engines that when you push hard, it gives you that high-pitched shriek that is not what we would call a treat to our ears lah. And so yeah, the engine definitely is the weak link of the package, but everything else of this car, right, if you take away the engine, everything else of this car is very satisfactory. I would argue that 17-inch alloy wheels, a bit of an overkill for a car at this kind of power rating. 15s or 16s would have done the job just as fine, and would have given you the added benefit of cheaper tire replacement costs and also a more comfortable ride quality. But this is not to say that the 17s are uncomfortable. It isn't. It is surprisingly comfortable actually, this car. You go over bumps, you go over potholes, the suspension actually soaks up all the surface imperfections pretty well. And when you go over a pothole or you go over a bump, right, even if the suspension does transmit a bit of the disturbance into the cabin, the sounds that you hear, okay, the car actually feels solid. It does not feel like it's going to be shattered or broken apart by the torture of the terrain underneath, and that is good. That is good. And the overall refinement, okay, when you talk about the sound deadening and all of this car, is actually above and beyond what you expect of any car in this price range. So I would say this car if you take the engines out of the equation, it is actually very good. Okay, the handling aspect, well, it's no Mazda 2, it's no Ford Fiesta. It may not even be better than the Honda Jazz, but it's good enough lah. Okay, there is quite a bit more body roll than its appearance would suggest, but it is of the manageable variety, and what it does mean is that you cannot push this car too hard into corners, but it is stable, it is predictable, and yeah, it is good enough. It is good enough. So this car's driving overall driving characteristics is okay if you are using this for your town runs, if you are using this to to send your kids to school, or if this is a second car at home. But if you regularly have to go on long distance drives, right, I would say any of the 1.5 liter alternatives on the market may still be a better choice lah. So I would say, right, overall the Rio is pretty alright. I mean, for 80,000 you get this very handsome looking car, fairly well equipped. I mean, let's put it this way lah. In the B segment landscape, your City, your Vios, your Jazz, these are the mainstream options. These are the safe options. I mean, and these are the cars that, if let's say that you have about 70,000-80,000 ringgit to spend, all you want is a safe option, a no headache, no frills option. That's where you go. You of course have the Nissan Almera. That is the cheap option. Then you have the Ford Focus. The Ford Fiesta. Ford Fiesta, my personal favorite, but that's a bit of an aging car these days. So it's a good car, but it is also a little bit dated. Then finally we have the Mazda 2. The Mazda 2, in my opinion, is the premium choice of the market. I say premium in a sense that it is a bit small, but you get of the most advanced engine in the segment. You get the best build quality in the segment. So I mean, in terms of aspirational value, okay, where the B segment is concerned, the Mazda 2 is your benchmark. And if you park the Rio right next to the Mazda 2, you just, based on appearances alone, the Rio is not an embarrassing looking car at all. If you park this next to a Mazda 2, it does not look out of place. Or if you park this next to a Honda Jazz, this easily looks like the more expensive car, right? So if you view it in that context, 80,000 ringgit is fair value for what you're getting. Yeah, the only weak link to this package really is the 1.4 liter engine. I don't even really mind the 4-speed auto, because the auto actually shifts relatively smoothly. Okay, but yeah, this car really could use a bit more power. So the 1.6 liter engine would be good. I mean, yeah, it adds cost, but I would happily trade away the sunroof. I would happily go with slightly smaller rims in exchange for a bit more power. Okay, but overall, this is a fantastic value package. Alright guys, so this is the new Rio. We are now at Wearnes Autohaus. There we have, this is from one of Wearnes's, their stock the selection of used cars. This is the previous gen Rio. This car is available for 58,000 ringgit, but the reason why we are here is to see the interior of this car and compare the progressions with the new model. Okay, so here, look at first glance, this is the interior of the previous gen Rio. It's well, the design wise, of course, the new one looks sleeker, more modern, but this old one, from at a glance, right, we see that it still seems to have held the held together pretty well. Design wise, of course, it's not as attractive, but quality is pretty good. Well, of course, there's all these hard plastics and all lah, but this is pretty good actually. Of course, you can actually see that, right, where the material selection is concerned, the new one actually feels a big step up from this car. Yeah, but you see, as you can feel out from all this switch gear, it feels pretty solid. Okay, everything is, the tactile feel of these buttons are excellent, and you can see the center console. The new one has a far better utilization of space, although this old one here is not too bad. You have a big bin here which you can drop in your phone. Then there's this rear armrest here at the back, decently sized rear armrest here at the back. Seats are fabric, and of course it has 6 airbags. Okay, so there's curtain airbag and side airbags. Yeah, pretty decent. Okay, but the new one visibly is better lah. Okay, so here we look at the back seats. This is the sedan model. Yeah, good headroom, and like the current one, like the new one, it also has 3 individual adjustable headrests. You get foldable seat backs. Okay, 60/40 split folding rear seats. You get ISOFIX mounts. 60/40 split folding seats, so you have to pull this down. Yeah. So there's a step down to the boot here. Let's open the boot lah. Hey, no boot release ah. Okay, so means you have to go through the front. Boot from the front. Look at this. Okay, wow, pretty big boot. Okay, pretty big boot. Right. Okay, so as you can see from here, right, this previous gen Kia Rio, this is already a pretty decent car. But from here, from this sedan, of course there's also a hatchback version lah. Coming from this, okay, this previous gen model to the new one, you see the clear progression between this and that. That really feels like a properly modern car. You see, it is a very far cry from the days of the past where Kia is a budget car. No, this is not a budget car. This is a properly legitimate B-segment car that merits comparison right alongside the very best cars of its class. The only thing is, it just needs a better engine. That's all. Okay, until my next video, thanks for watching. Bye for now.